Hello and welcome. Today, you'll learn English through another motivational story. Welcome to a brand new journey. Meet Sarah. Sarah is 17 years old. She is kind, hardworking, and respectful. But there is one problem she has carried for most of her life. She doesn't believe in herself. Let's begin. The morning sun shone gently through the curtains. As Sarah sat at the small kitchen table, reviewing her English homework one last time, a cup of tea sat beside her. It had already gone cold. She read the same paragraph again. Then, she erased one sentence. She rewrote it. She looked at the page for a moment and frowned. It still doesn't sound right. Her voice was barely above a whisper. Her mother looked up from the stove. She smiled. "I think it looks wonderful." Sarah slowly shook her head. "No, everyone else's English is much better than mine." Her mother walked over and gently placed a hand on Sarah's shoulder. "You always say that." Sarah managed a small smile, but deep inside, she didn't believe the compliment. A few minutes later, Sarah packed her school bag, picked up her notebook, and left for school. The streets were already busy. Cars passed by. Children laughed as they walked to class. Shop owners opened their doors for another day. Sarah walked quietly. She held her notebook tightly against her chest. As she walked, she noticed other students talking together. Some of them spoke English so naturally that she wondered if she would ever sound like them. When Sarah arrived at school, the first lesson of the day was English. Mrs. Adams greeted the class with her usual warm smile. "Good morning, everyone." The students answered together. "Good morning, Mrs. Adams." Mrs. Adams looked around the classroom. She smiled. "I've finished marking your writing assignments. Today, I'd like a few volunteers to read their stories aloud." Almost immediately, several hands went up. Sarah kept both of hers on the desk. Mrs. Adams smiled. "Wonderful." One by one, students stood and shared their stories. The classroom filled with confident voices. Some students made small mistakes. Others paused, searching for the right words. But every one of them kept speaking. Sarah listened carefully. Then she noticed something. They weren't perfect. They made mistakes too. Yet, none of them seemed embarrassed. Still, Sarah remained silent. After the last student finished reading, Mrs. Adams slowly looked around the classroom. Then, her eyes rested on Sarah. "Sarah, would you like to read yours?" Sarah's heart immediately began to race. Her hands felt cold. Every eye in the classroom turned toward her. She looked down at her notebook. I don't think it's good enough." Mrs. Adams walked slowly toward Sarah's desk. When she spoke, her voice was calm and gentle. She wanted Sarah to feel comfortable. "May I see it?" Sarah hesitated for a moment. Then, she handed over the notebook. Mrs. Adams read the first paragraph, then the second. When she finished, she smiled. "This is beautiful." Sarah blinked. She looked surprised. "It is?" Mrs. Adams nodded. "It certainly is." Sarah looked back down at her notebook. But I probably made lots of mistakes. Mrs. Adams smiled gently. Yes. Sarah lowered her head. For a moment, she said nothing. Then, Mrs. Adams continued. And so did everyone else. The classroom became completely quiet. Mrs. Adams looked around the room. She made eye contact with every student before speaking again. Making mistakes doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're learning. Sarah listened carefully. Every word seemed to settle deep inside her. You don't have to wait until you perfect before you share your voice. For the first time that morning, Sarah slowly looked around the classroom. No one was laughing. No one was whispering. No one was judging her. The fear she had carried with her all morning suddenly felt a little smaller. Mrs. Adams smiled. Would you like to read just the first paragraph? Sarah closed her eyes for a moment. She took one slow breath, then another. Her heartbeat was still racing, but this time, she didn't sit back down. She slowly stood up. The classroom remained completely quiet. She opened her notebook. Her hands were shaking, just a little. She looked at the first sentence. For a moment, the words became blurry. She took another breath. Then, she began. Every morning, the sun reminds us that every day is another chance to begin again. She stopped. The room stayed silent. No one interrupted. No one laughed. No one rolled their eyes. Everyone listened. That gave her courage. She looked back at the page. Then she continued. With every sentence, her voice became a little steadier, a little stronger, a little more confident. She was still making small mistakes. She knew she was, but something inside her had changed. For the first time, she wasn't trying to sound perfect. She was simply trying to be heard. When she reached the end of the paragraph, she slowly lowered her notebook. The classroom remained quiet for just a second. Then, someone started clapping. Another student joined in. Then another. Within moments, the entire classroom applauded. Not because she had spoken perfectly, but because she had found the courage to begin. A warm smile spread across Sarah's face. It wasn't a smile of pride, it was a smile of relief. As the lesson came to an end, Mrs. Adams quietly walked over. She handed the notebook back to Sarah. You have a gift. Sarah looked at her teacher. She smiled politely. Thank you. But as she walked out of the classroom, one thought stayed with her. What if she is saying that to be kind? Sometimes the hardest person to convince is yourself.